What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the high-grade Earthree Gundam from Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise. So I'm going to be covering the core Gundam first before I take a quick look at the Earth armor and then combining it into the Earthree Gundam. So I'm going to be posting timestamps in the description below. So here's the core Gundam, and I have to say I have panned my camera down just to show this guy in all of its glory. Well, I say glory, it's the petite glory, honestly, because this thing is just so damn small. In the official specs, it is 14.1 meters, and yeah, this thing is literally the smallest thing I've ever seen. So I'm gonna give you guys the comparison section of the core Gundam before I move on to anything else, because it's so funny how small this thing is. So here it is next to one of the Granddaddy Gundams. So 18 meter, 14 meter. It's no joke. And then some people have been wondering if it's shorter than the F91. Well, I have it here. So yeah, it is definitely shorter than the Gundam F91. Yeah, which is funny. So this thing has basically took the throne to be the smallest Gundam ever to exist for now, because who knows, there could be smaller. But anyways, this thing on its own doesn't come with the blue, it only comes with the red, white, yellow, and gray. And I think this thing, well, despite its on paper dull color scheme, it does look pretty good. Of course, the body parts are disproportionate as all hell because, well, this thing is only made to be combining with the armor packs. Although Hiroto did do some damage with this guy, I still cannot get over how disproportionate this thing looks. But then, disproportionate it may be, but it is proportional to the line art, so there's really no complaining. And I have to say, this thing does look pretty good in some angles, especially if you have it lunging forward and all that kind of stuff. You really cannot see the feet, so the illusion would create that, oh, this is a normal Gundam. So as long as you do not see the entire leg, then I think you'd be fine. But I had to say, despite how much I laugh about this, it's a very good looking kit on its own without the armor. So yeah, that's it. So the stickers, you have the eyes and sensors on the front and back of the head. That's it for the core Gundam, at least. And I really like the clear green over here. It does look nice. Now the black details on the shoulder is actually painted in. I wanted to see if it helps fix with the shoulder extension problems, which I'm going to be covering later. But overall, the core Gundam is a nice looking petite Gundam. For articulation, it's basically the high grade articulation, but there are some limitations. First of all, the head is on a double ball joint, which is nothing special. You can rotate, go up and down, all that kind of stuff. The arms, they are on the flip up polycap, which functions more if you have the shoulder extended, but it doesn't really do much over here. But the ball joint in the arms do help it rotate, all that kind of generic stuff. Arms can go out that far, perpendicular basically, rotate above the elbow, bend at the elbow at two joints, which looks very, very nice. Ball joint the wrist. There is no stomach joint because I could easily take this off, and the thruster, glue it in, because wrong positioning could make it go flying, just like the Hazels. Then, yeah, the stomach is actually pegged in, so there is no stomach joint. The only joint that you get is the waist, which can only rotate. I don't know, but it's kind of sad. Front skirts, they can move out of the way, but they really do not get in the way in this configuration at all, so there's no point. No side skirts, no back skirts, so you can forget about those. There's no unique mechanic in the legs as well, so you can forget about that. And then the legs, they can go forwards, go backwards, go outwards, not all the way, even though without side skirts, because the bulk of this joint over here, of this piece, doesn't allow the polycap to go out further than this. So it's rather disappointing, but the core Gundam could not even utilize the full splits. So yeah, the feet over here, they can move on a ball joint in the back, and of course dislodge. And the feet can point back for combination. And I forgot, the knee can bend over here. So this is the actual knee of the core Gundam, but there's another joint for the Earthree Gundam down there, so you could cheat and give it a 180 bend. But technically this is ankle movement in the core Gundam's aspect, so yeah, It's not really that good, but it is enough for something this small. So overall articulation on the core Gundam is fantastic. You can pull off pretty decent poses with the core Gundam itself. Accessories. First of all, you have the core beam sabers in the back. So yeah, one thing that weirds me out about these things is that they have round guards, but they use flat beams. So yeah, this kit does come with 4 beams, but in the core beam saber configuration, it uses the beam dagger effect parts. But it does strangely look like a beam saber. So you could easily plop it into the core Gundam's hands like so. And there you go, he's wielding the beam saber. What I think they should have done is have the reversible Gundam or the Reborn Gundam's beam saber holes. So like the middle C-shaped holes where you can plug in any round beams, but also you can plug in the flat beams. So just give us a choice. Plus the middle C-shaped hole doesn't affect the storage because it's still going to be plugged onto the flat hole. Next up is going to be the core shield. It's a half shield, nothing really too special, has a handle and has a peg over here that you can flip out. So it is held in the hand like so, but you can only mount it onto the arm with it holding it because it doesn't have anywhere to peg onto the arm. A clip would be nice, but they didn't provide that because the core Gundam actually had the shield mounted on like so in the anime, and it can hold the gun in the left hand. So that's rather disappointing, but I could understand why they didn't do that. But if they actually have kind of like a clip to mount it onto the arm like so, then it will be even nicer. But in the core configuration, you can plug this onto the backpack, but with the help of an adapter right here. So not only does this adapter allow for the core Gundam to store its shield like so, it can also allow for the core Gundam to mount on any single peg or double peg backpack. So basically any backpack that exists, except for the Sandrock's backpack. So it's pretty nice of them to include this adapter for shield storage and also playability, but it's gonna look wacky no matter what backpack you equip to the core Gundam on its own. And lastly, you have the core spray gun, and I have to say this is one of the best looking spray guns that I've ever seen. It's very, very cool looking. It has a decent amount of details, and yeah, it has a green sticker for the scope. It just looks nice overall. It reminds me of the Lightning Gundam's Strider's handheld beam rifle, or the beam pistol that comes with the Lightning Back Option Set 3. I forgot the specific name of it, but never mind. The Strider Pack. So you can hold it in hand like so. And yeah, it does look cool in the core Gundam. However, one bad thing is you cannot store it on the back skirt. There is nothing included in this kit to store this thing on the back skirt. You can clearly see it stored in the start of the first episode, but obviously you cannot do that here. So that is one big disappointment of the beam rifle. So that's going to be all the accessories for the core Gundam itself. Now this thing, I really like this thing. I really like the look of this thing, although I really cannot stop myself laughing at it whenever I see it in this configuration. But you can display it separately because it does have a few play options, especially when you allow it to surf or kneel on the Earth armor itself. So it's possible you just have to fiddle around with it and mess with the laws of physics. But then, let's look at the Earth armor now. The Earth armor is blue and white and gray and has the green sticker for the cockpit piece over here. It's basically the cockpit piece of the shuttle, so it's fine. But yeah, this thing, it does look streamlined. I really like the look. Yeah, this thing does have a pretty decent look. And as I said, you can put the core Gundam on here and have it surf. It does have 2 beam cannons over here, which is nice that they molded that in. And it does come with this stand, this mini stand right here, where you can plug the Earth armor onto here. But there's nothing really to do with the Earth armor now, so let's take off all the armor pieces and combine this thing. So as you guys can see, I have placed the pieces of armor in their respective positions. So let's get to combining with the core Gundam, shall we? So let's start off from the bottom. So first of all, you need to fold the feet of the core Gundam back, and then you need to mount it into these extensions. And of course, you flip up the feet of the extended pieces. Same goes for the other one. And the next step, you take these skirt pieces and mount it onto the front skirt. It's basically like the Gundam H1. And then you rotate it to the back and put the back skirt on. I'm so sorry guys for the jump cut, but when I watched the previous footage, I had to retake the combination from the waist up. So first of all, let's do the chest. We just basically extend the arms, the shoulder pieces, and then we plug the chest pieces on like so. It's kind of finicky because the arms are in the way, but it's alright. It's gonna be fine. Then you plug the top pieces on, and it basically locks the chest mechanism into place. So you don't need to worry about the shoulders being pushed right back into the core chest. So same goes for the other side. And then next up, we go to the shoulders. So the shoulders, they're here. They're basically plugged onto the core unit and onto the core Gundam with these slits over here, with these pegs over here. So friction is not going to help, especially with these very short pegs. So I added the black paint over here to try and stiffen them. Plus it's missing the detail anyway, so I thought why not. So slipping on the paint does help a little bit, but if you did not put any paint in those slits, then yeah, you may have to find a way to stiffen up the slots over there. And then let's go to the arms. So first of all, we remove the manipulators first, and then you plug on the extensions over here. So stick them on like so. Yeah, this is poor gripping, by the way, so it's nothing related to the stiffness of the shoulders. But then you just plug the manipulators back on, and then plug the hand cover over here onto the hand. Same goes for the other one. And then to the back, you raise the beam sabers like so, and then make sure the thruster is aligned perfectly, or else you won't be able to plug on this piece. Just basically plug it onto the back like so. And then for the head, just plug the V-fin right onto the forehead. And then the weapons, you basically just plug the shield onto the half shield like so. I'm gonna leave that off to the side for now. And then for the spray gun, you basically plug the Stungle extension onto it. It's not the official name, but it just reminds me of the Stungle rifle. I'm gonna leave that off to the side as well. But now let's move on and talk about the Earthree Gundam. So the Earthree Gundam, with all the blue, gives it more colors and gives it the lead Gundam color scheme because it's missing all the blue. I have to say, from the front, it does look very damn nice. And rotated to the side, still looks nice. But then, yeah, you can see the core gun is basically kneeling inside of these boots over here. And yeah, to add to the fire, to add to the negativity, the mini thrusters are not molded in. But I could understand why. It's because of the limitation of the mechanics, but it would have been nice to have a mini thruster molded in here. So I'm not complaining, it's just that if you're looking for complete anime accuracy, you're missing out on that. But otherwise, the Earth armor does look very good. Sharp aesthetics, sharp colors, it just makes this guy pop. So the articulation is not that hindered, the head stays the same. The arms, yeah, I say they can use a polycap more when the shoulders are extended, but thanks to the chest armor, it basically hinders it. So there is less, like a teeny tiny bit less up and down in here, but it doesn't matter anyways. Arms still stay the same, basically they're just extended. Still ball jointed here, but a little bit looser. The front skirts actually have a purpose to move out of the way now, and the front skirts do actually get looser over time, so I recommend you thicken up the peg. And obviously the side skirts and back skirt, they cannot move, but understandably so. Legs still stay the same, but then the knee bend is fantastic. And then the feet over here, it mounts on a ball joint, they can flip up and down. And then over here, there is a rotation for the feet. So all in all, the articulation of the lower body is the most drastic change, but yeah, they can utilize the wide stance that the Earthree Gundam can achieve. But otherwise, the articulation is the same. So the extra extended weapons basically have duller names. So this is the beam rifle, this is the shield, and basically the Earthree Gundam uses the beam saber, so the proper length beam saber. So I have to let you see what it actually looks like, because for some reason it does make sense. It does make a lot of sense. So the beam daggers could look like beam sabers, and the beam sabers obviously do look like beam sabers. So I don't know, is it my eyes playing tricks on me or something like that? But either way, it does look very, very good. And then the beam rifle, it only has the extension, kind of like the Stungle rifle. So let's just plop that in there as well. And then the shield, yeah, it looks like more of a full shield. So to mount it on, you basically rotate the wrist over here and peg this peg into the hole in the gauntlet, and then just feed the handle of the shield into the manipulator, like so. And the shield also has a green sticker for the scope over here. And yeah, there's nothing really special about the shield. But then you could also kind of have a pseudo star built strike kind of discharge mechanic. So by combining this peg over here into either of the holes on the sides of the beam rifle, you can have it transfer energy from the shield to the beam rifle. And right now, you should fold the shield piece over here. It is movable. And then place these prongs over here from this initial position to a further back position. It's kind of like the Stungle rifle of the HFX, which is why I'm kinda, and I mean kinda, disappointed, because you could easily add the Stungle rifle's joints. But of course, some people will argue with me that the Stungle rifle actually loosens up over time, so I could understand why they did this. And here we have it, the supercharged, the charged shot, or whatever you want to call it. But then the bad thing is, you cannot store the shield nor the rifle anywhere on the body now, because the hole for the adapter is blocked by these backpack piece. Of course, you could take the backpack piece off, replace it with the adapter, and mount the shield on, but in the show it didn't actually do that. And obviously the beam rifle, you cannot mount it on the back skirt. So either have them on the Gundam, or just throw them off to the side and have it use the beam sabers. So that's all for the Earthree Gundam. For comparisons now, it is not laughable at all now, so yeah, let's bring in the local American type Gundam. And actually, with the cheater of height standing side by side, it doesn't look that small anymore, but in fact, it is basically using boosters, so who am I to judge? He's a child pretending to be an adult. Finally, back to the F91. This guy should be towering, quote unquote, towering over the F91. So that's all for the Earthree Gundam. So let's get the negatives out of the way first. First of all, what you can't fix is you cannot store the shield on the Earthree form. You cannot store the beam rifle in either the Earthree or the core form. And that's about it. You cannot store these weapons anywhere, and it is prevalently shown to have been stored in the anime. And then for structural integrity, the front skirt extensions are loosening up over time. The shoulders are definitely loose. The fingers, I haven't mentioned those because it hasn't happened in the review, but the fingers are very, very easy to separate. So I would suggest you strengthen up those pegs before building it. But other than that, this thing is an absolutely decent kit. But with the negatives, I'm only going to give it an 8 out of 10, but it is a very, very high score. Plus, it is cheap, so an extra point for me. So it's an 8 to 9 out of 10. So it is going to be an easy recommendation. So unless you fix all the structural integrity, and if you do not care about the storage, this thing is definitely worth your money. Also, one more thing, if you want to customize the Earthree Gundam even more, there's an alternate adapter, but only with the double peg system, but it looks better on the Earthree instead of the plank that we get here. But this is more versatile, so choose your own liking. But anyways, I would definitely recommend the Earthree Gundam to you guys, and plus this is a whole new kit, so why not? So that's it for me. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and also subscribe for more Gunpla reviews, Gunpla news, and all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to the feature channels on my channel page if you haven't, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, guys. Bye bye.